We would like to keep this webinar very informal. Would love to have attendance from all of you to talk, ask questions, stop us wherever you want us to stop, ask us any questions, and we are happy to answer. We would also love to hear if there are any challenges that you face, any particular areas that you would like to discuss, or just your thoughts. We welcome them all, especially anything around, if you're doing case management, information access, problems that you face individually, either as a care provider or as an agency owner. We'd love to hear that. There are a couple of polls as well that we are going to start, which you'll see during the course of the webinar that will pop up. We would appreciate if you answer those polls. That will give us more information about how your business works and help us, tailor the webinar, as well as if you would like to talk to us afterwards, help us answer any questions that you might have as well. But essentially, again, welcome Sunny Nair and Ann Murtha from our customer success team, the leaders who are going to help you navigate this today. What's the purpose of this webinar, right? What are the various areas? FieldWorker is being used by many different types of organizations, right? Whether you are in case management, whether you are in care coordination, whether you are a center for independent living, or delivering home care services in people's homes. It's a flexible, configurable system and provides many benefits to the individuals who are delivering the care, as well as agency management and administration. And of course, at the end of the day, we reduce your work, in a way, simplify your day-to-day operations, and you have more time, whether to sit on the beach or also to provide better care. You have more face time with the clients. You have more flexibility. So much time, 70% of the time is spent on administrative overhead, and we take care of all that. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Sunny to launch into the product. Now, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, drop a message in the chat panel. We'll be monitoring it, and we are happy to answer those questions for you, or any other information that you would like to say, any thoughts. So Sunny, over to you.
Yes, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rohit, and good evening, everybody. I will go ahead and share my screen right now. So, Rohit, I think you'd have to stop sharing right here. Great. So I've just gone ahead and shared my screen. You've come into the homepage of FieldWorker. This is a generalized homepage that we have for all agencies, where you have basically, as soon as you enter into the system, the timesheets and the recent notes. Right here, we have the clients tab. The view that you're looking at currently is an admin view. So we have different designations on the system. You have an admin designation, a field worker designation, as well as a manager designation, which are the default. So you can also create designations on the system and assign them to your employees. So the way designations work is an admin, you have access to all your data. And as a field worker designation, you're only assigned, or you are only having access to clients who you're assigned to. So we make sure that not any employee is able to see any information they're not supposed to. So they will only have access to information as they are assigned to that particular client. Now, coming into the clients tab, this is our clients dashboard, where you will see all your clients listed. We break these clients down into different statuses. So we have an active, inactive, prospect, and a dormant status. So you can have different statuses for a client right here, and you can move them. We're an audit system, so we never delete information, right? All the information that you're seeing on the screen, it's only going to go from an active to an inactive to a dormant. You never lose information from the system. Coming into the client record, you will see we store a lot of client demographic information. And if I try editing, we have way more information. So you can store information like, the Medicaid eligibility, assessment, diagnosis, the waiver program, and any of the information that you would like, from county, race, or ethnicity as well. You can also store a picture for your for your clients. So in case you would need one, you can always upload a customer image here, which also is saved to the client record. What we also have on the home screen is the recent notes. So any recent notes that were added in by your employees pertaining to this client would be displayed on the overview screen. Next, coming into the projects, we have a project. I would like to define a project as a file for the client. So, you can have a file for every service that the client is present with. So every service that you are providing to a client can be a file of its own or a project of its own, or you can even have a single project. As I said, we never delete information, so we move from an ongoing to a completed. So anytime there is a project that is ending, you can always move it from a ongoing to a completed phase. The advantage of having multiple projects is you can bifurcate information such as notes, goals, tasks to these projects. Going forward in the demo, you will see that we have every field has a project option, and hence you can decide on how you would like to store the information. Going forward, we have tasks. So tasks are basically services that you are providing to your client or time that is being spent with your client. So your tasks can be ongoing. So you can schedule tasks for the future. If you have recurring tasks, you can schedule tasks for as long as you like, as well as you can have timesheets which have been added in. So we have two ways in which time can be collected through the system. For anybody who's has EBV on their system or who would like a check-in check-out process, we have a mobile app. Using the mobile app, your employees they will check into a task from the address mentioned, and they will only be able to check out as well only at the address mentioned. So that's one process where you can check in check out using the mobile app. Or the next is you can add timesheets. So a timesheet can typically be added for a service that is already provided or something for in the future where you would be spending time with the client. While doing so, you can also collect various information like a signature. So you can do so while checking in, checking out as well. You have the capability of having a signature as well as forms created once the visit has been completed. So that's one of the processes. Any questions up till now?
No, I think somebody said
Great.
it's all good.
Okay.
So let's carry on.
Okay, great. So now going forward to the people tab. So this is typically your employee-client relationship as well as customer contacts. So any additional employees, you can assign multiple employees to a single client. So currently right here, you will see I have the people with an admin designation as well as a field worker designation. So you can add or remove any additional employees right through this screen. So in case, some of your employees have moved out or they're out on vacation, you can always have somebody covering for them by just assigning them directly through this screen. Below here, we also have customer contacts. So contacts like the doctor information, family, emergency contacts, you can add that information to the FieldWorker system. And this information is available through the mobile app. So, in case ever needed, your employees have access to this right through the mobile app. We then have the files section. So this is more of a document center or a file drop-down section where you can upload as many files as you like for regarding a client. So ISP, SDR, referral documents, any information, any client-related information that you have regarding a client can be stored here. You can either upload through a laptop, you by assigning it to a particular project. So right here is the advantage of having multiple projects. You can assign a particular document to the project and report on that. Or you can even use the mobile app to upload a document. Through the mobile app, you can also take an image and upload that image to the FieldWorker system, and it will be visible right here. Going forward, we have the notes. So this is where notes can be collected for your clients. So you can either add a note, a generalized note. Again, you have the option of selecting a particular project. You can then also select a task that you have completed in this project right here from the list. You can assign a note to a task. A lot of times, the note is typically the billable or what is required when an audit happens. So it's beneficial to collect this information right here using a system, letting your employees know that the next step is to fill in the task for the time that you have spent with the client. So you can click that visit if whichever visit you would like to associate with the note and then create a note. So I'm just going to create a note right here saying we went out for lunch. And then we also have a voice to text. So any of our feature right here, any of our uh, features which have text in them, have voice to text in it. So if I click the mic, I can speak, and that's going to create the note. So right here, you will see that it goes ahead and creates the note. So I'm just going to say create note now, and you will see that this note has been added to the client record. It's also associated, so you will see the information regarding the visit is also present. And we have a timestamp on all the different clicks done on the system. So when was this note created? If there is an update made, all of that information is mentioned right here regarding the note. You can even edit these notes. So a lot of times, employees are in a hurry while leaving a certain client location or when they are out in the field. They can start a note out in the field and then come back home, log into a laptop and complete the note right through the screen. So you can always edit and complete the note. And we're going to record the time right here. So it's going to show you who created it and who updated the note. So that's for the note section. Going forward, we have
You
goals.
have,
So you can,
sorry, Sunny, there's a question.
sure.
Do you have reporting so that we can look at case notes by employee or client?
Oh yes, we have ample amount of reporting. So currently, I will just walk you through what we have as a generalized report. So for reporting for notes, we have one of the report which is an employee note report. But basically, whenever there is a note added by a particular employee, that would show up here. We also have a client-based note report, which is right here. You can select which client, and you can select the date and the time, for the report. When you view the report, you will see that it comes in with a lot of client information as well as the different notes that were added in right here. So to answer your question, we do have reporting for notes based on employee as well as client. And you can also create custom reports. So that's one feature as well through the system. Moving forward to the goals, you can add client goals to the product or to every single client and associate it with a particular task type. And every time that a task type is displayed, this goal would be shown up on the form. So this helps your employees whenever creating a particular task with a certain task type to know what was the goal that was present for the client. You can also track the progress and associate different task types for particular goals on the system. I will show you how the goal would be playing out with the forms in a few minutes. We then have employee needs. So if there are any needs that are required, can also be added to the system. So RGs, support needs, anything regarding the client can be added through the client record right here. And finally, we have the form section. So this currently is the other different types of forms present as well as instances that a form has been created for a particular client. What we have is we have the form. You can either view the form right here by clicking on the view option, and it's going to bring up the form, or you can hit the edit option and change the form information as well. So what that does is it updates the form last updated column. So you would know if any change has been made to a particular form. So these are the different instances when a form has been created for Abigail on.
So this
A
is
form section.
just sorry to interrupt. Just a quick
Sure.
adding on to what Sunny's saying is the key thing with these forms is that if you have a custom intake process, you have a particular information that you want to collect part of your workflow for your state, for your needs, then you can create a form and attach it to our custom workflow. You can create a custom workflow so that whenever a particular service is initiated, an intake process, a check-in process, whatever that might be, the form can be used. The form will pop up, information can be collected, and all that information is there for you to report on.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Sunny.
Sorry for that. So with the forms, we have an extended uh, application for the forms where you can create your own forms. We have some of the generalized forms, which are community forms present in the system. And these are few forms that I have also created. all on the FieldWorker system right here. You can design the form the way you'd like. So if you have an agency specific form with the way you collect information, from a signature to a client signature, you can do so right here. It's a very simple process to create forms. We have a very simple form builder, which is basically a drag and drop feature where you can create different types of logic, validation, and all of them right here. So I'm just going to say one of the fields that my form would have is a name, and that's how the form's going to then look like. You can add a form and associate them with task types, and that's then going to be available whenever your employee creates time with that particular task type. We also have a report builder for the form. So when you create a form, you can report on any information that you collect through the forms. So as long as I select a particular form, it gets me all of the instances that a particular client form was filled in for clients. I can hide or unhide any information that I don't need. So if there's any information that I do not currently require in a report, I can do so by hiding that and then creating a completely new report. Once this is done, once you have added in a new report, you can then run these reports whenever required for your agency. So on a daily basis, on a weekly, or you can also specify the time period for when these were in here. So for example, if I say my administration record and I do a search, it's going to show me every time there was this form created. So if I do 1st of January, you will see that it brings up certain instances of the form being filled in. So that's with the form reporting. Other than the form reporting, we also have additional reporting. So if I go up now, bring your attention to the reporting section right here to the top, we have a lot of client reports currently present. So initially, I had mentioned the employee notes report. So any notes which have been added in by your employees will be mentioned here in this report. Second, we have the plan renewal report. So the plan renewal report is typically clients' projects which are ending in the current month and in the next 3 months. So these are different projects which have been created for my clients, and it shows me whose plans are expiring in the next month and the next 3 months. What this helps is to let your employees know that they can go ahead and work on plan renewal and start creating the documents for plan renewal. So it's one of the reports that help. Any of our reports that you're currently seeing are exportable as CSV or PDF. So based on your need, you can either export these as CSV or a PDF document, any of our reports. We then have the active customer report. So the active customer report has all the client information mentioned right here. It has all the client data, all the client demographic, as well as plan data right here. We then have the task report. So a task report is typically a report of every task that has been created by your employees. So it can be, a task check-in, check-out. It could also be a timesheet that has been added in. All of that information would be present here. The advantage of having reports through FieldWorker is you can filter these reports as required. So you can select any of the columns that you need. For example, I would say I want to see how many home visits did I do in the previous month. I can come into the filters option. I can filter task type and say home visit. What it's going to do is it's going to bring up every instance that a home visit was completed in that particular period. So it's a good story on, I'm doing so many home visits or I've done completed a certain number of home visits with a particular client. So you can do a filter for one, you can do a filter, you can add additional filters. So that's one of the features present on FieldWorker as well. We then have the time management, or basically, again, a task report, which has all of the tasks that have been added in. Again, you can create custom reporting, as mentioned right here, by selecting a particular project, an employee. That's one feature. We have a few billing reports as well. There's some generalized billing. So we bill to Medicaid in New Jersey and are currently also working on various different states to be Medicaid billing. But these are a few reports that you have through our system: invoice report, billing transaction report, anything that you submit through FieldWorker, you can report on right through these fields. We also have some company reports, so payroll report, department report, NJ department report. We again check for this information against the 4 databases present, and we let you know if any of your employees are a part of that database. So as long as the employee information is updated, you can run these reports as well to make sure that there is no department present. Finally, we have the EVV report, or electronic visit verification report. So if anybody here is EVV mandated, you can use our system as an EVV third-party provider where your employees would be checking in, checking out, and we would be sending the information forward. So you have the EVV reports and then EVV invoices mentioned right here. Finally, we have the case management report. So the case management report is typically a report of all the notes that have been added for a particular client. So you can select the client and you can then enter in a particular period for when you want the notes. And then when you hit the view report, you will see that a report is exported with all the different notes that have been added in for the client. So right here, you will see we have a lot of notes that were added to the client record are now present in this report. You can also create or download a PDF directly of that report through this screen right here. So any report that you need regarding a client can be present through the case management report. Any questions up till now?
So there is a question. So one is, can multiple staff members collaborate on the same case in real time?
Oh, yes, 100%. So you can have multiple employees associated with a client, right? And every employee has their own access through the system. So as long as the client is associated with the customer, with the particular customer, uh, you can collaborate on a single project or a note as well as a task right here.
There's a question on HIPAA compliance. We'll address that as well towards the end of the session. So I'm not answering that right now, but we can continue on. But
Okay.
for the audience, yeah.
Okay, great. So we
There's
spoke.
another question. Is there a way for supervisors to monitor activity of the staff? How do they know what everybody's doing in real
Yes.
time? Yeah.
Yeah, so we have dashboards as well as timesheet reports where your supervisors can go through reporting to make sure that what a particular employee is working on. We also have timesheets based off every single client. So if you can select a particular client, particular employee, let's say, I'm managing time for Scott Dixon, I can check the different hours or time that has been spent right here. So you can click on a particular employee as a supervisor and check the different visits or time that they are putting into the system. So right here, you will see I have an entry for a period right here.
There's another question about is this functionality available through an app, and can the caregivers enter case notes and upload documents from the field?
Yes, yes. So we have an Android as well as an iOS mobile app. So everything that you're seeing on the system is accessible through the mobile app. So your employees, they can, access customer information, contact information, forms, notes, timesheets, everything through the mobile app. So they can even upload photos, as I mentioned initially. You can take a photo through your mobile screen and upload it directly to the client record right here, which is all available in real time. So as soon as it's uploaded through the mobile app, it will be available on the web app as well.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So that's with the timesheet reporting, just a report of the different time that has been spent for a particular client. I'll now walk through just adding a process of adding a timesheet and associating a note as well as creating a form. So in order to add a timesheet, your employees, they would typically log in to the home screen right here. They can click the addition sign. Through here, you can select the project. So, the advantage of having multiple projects is you can even break down time into these different projects. I'm going to select a single project, Abigail Aura community-based supports. I can add a task title, just saying it is a visit. I can then select the task type. So the task type can be typically the service that is being provided for the client. So it can be either community-based, ISS. I'm going to select community-based supports. You can define or select as many task types as you would like. So we have a few generalized task types present on the system. So let me just walk you through that. As Rohit mentioned initially, the system's very configurable, right? We have a lot of different types of businesses currently using us. So everything that you see can be configured according to your needs. Currently, we have a lot of generalized task types. So this is the whole list. You can either select from any of these or you can add new task types as you would like. So in case there is, there is a task type where you have, let's say a Dunkin' run as a day program, you take in your whole, for a Dunkin' run, you can have that as a task type and then time can be added against this on the system. So this is how you can create as many task types as you would like. Coming
Yeah,
back to the
one of
home
the things
screen.
that we do with these task types forms is that you can build custom workflows for yourself, right? So for your organization, you can build custom workflows. We'll help you build custom workflows. You do a certain task type, certain actions get triggered, forms can be triggered, information can be collected, and reporting can be done on them. So essentially, we allow you a fully flexible, configurable system, as Sunny mentioned.
Yes, yes. So that's with the timesheet. You will click the addition sign. You will select the project. So you can select the Abigail project. You can then enter in a task title. Just going to say visit lunch. You can then select the task type. So community-based support in this case. You can select the date. And you have the option of either having time collected as a duration, which is in hours, or you can also collect time as a start time, end time feature, where your employees would be mentioning what time they started and what time they ended. So based on how you would like, you can collect information. I'm just going to collect information here by saying 1 hour and say submit. Once I do so, you will see that the visit is present right here. So for an hour, I spent time for lunch with Abigail, which was a part of this project. If I need to create a form, I can click the three buttons right here and it gets the form that is associated with this task type. So this is just one of the forms that I had created, which I have associated. Your employees, they can select. If they hover over the client goals to the top right on any form, you will see that this was one of the goals that we had seen initially. So any goals which have been added in for the client are also visible when filling in a form and can be referenced so that they fill in the information the right way. Once they have selected this, they can select the form, add the information in, and then say submit. Once that is done, the form is been collected. In order to add a note, you can add a note either through the recent note feature where you select the customer. So you have Abigail Honor, you can select the project, you can select the task that I just created right here, 205. That's the task that I created. And then I can then enter in the note on what I did, where did we have lunch and how the progress was. So I'm just going to say great progress made by Abigail. And I can say great. That note would be added right here and it can be edited as well directly through the home screen. Now, if I go to the timesheets page under my name, you will see that all of this information has been collected and present right here, where you can verify it as an admin or a manager as well. So all of the information that was entered is right here on this screen. If I click the form, it also has the form that was filled in. So all of the options that I selected are right here. And this time can also be edited or deleted right through this screen. What we also have is we have the submit timesheet option. So in case you would like your employees to follow a workflow where they submit their timesheets once they have added all their time, you can do so. You can then approve or reject these timesheets, letting them know that whether the time that has been entered in is right or wrong. So, it takes a lot of time away from communication outside the system and happens all through the system. Yes. Any questions?
There's one around how do you protect client data? So I think we'll take that for both HIPAA and security perspective. So one is, and Sunny, you can add on to this, but basically we have role-based authorizations. So any client can only see the data for the clients. Sorry, any employee can only see the data that they are associated with, only that client's data. Um, every company's data is independent. We have, we use Microsoft Azure HIPAA compliant databases, and all the data is very secure in the cloud. with Microsoft's security and backups, recovery, etc. in place. We are also fully HIPAA compliant as a company and as a product with a third-party HIPAA compliance company monitoring and regularly checking on our systems and our processes. So we are very secure and very HIPAA compliant.
Yes.
What training and support do you provide for new users? Sunny, do you want to take that?
Yes, I could take that. So we have different processes for uh, we have different processes for onboarding as well as support. Typically, the way we proceed is we have a demo right after this. If you are interested in the product, we'd have a demo with you where we understand your business in more detail to make sure that you are using FieldWorker in order to get the most out of it. Right. So we have a one-on-one. I typically have a one-on-one with the admin where I understand your business. We then set up the FieldWorker account together. Once that is done, we make sure that all of the information that you need is available to you. Once that is completed, we then schedule the onboarding for your employees because we've seen, and I've seen this happen, over the past few years as well, that the minute you have employees doing or looking at more than what they're actually supposed to do, it confuses them. So what we like to do at FieldWorker is we like to define a process with the admin, letting them know that this is what your employees are going to do, and then training the employees on only doing that. So you're getting what you need from their end as well as they're not pressured into learning a whole system. So we have onboarding calls. It's typically a 1 hour call where you can get based on the number of employees you have. We can have multiple calls as well, where we train the employees on logging in, making sure that they see the data they need, adding in time, forms, any of the information. Once that is completed, we also have 30-minute one-on-one sessions with any employees who require additional help. So in case there is any additional help required, we can schedule one-on-one with one somebody from our team. We also have continuous support. So as soon as the onboarding is complete, we will send you documents with the process that can help employees always refer back to in case they need help. And then in case any issues come up, we always are present here to help them through it, and also schedule one-on-one calls in the future.
There's another question which says, can we account for and track balances of paid time off in timesheets for employees?
Yes. So again, task types is the best because you can create a task type for PTO or paid time off, and then have your employees add their time in for the different time. Again, the filters help, so you can filter out based off this task type every time that your employees add in timesheets with PTO or paid time off, and you can get this information in a report as well.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, yes, you can track uh, paid time off for employees in the timesheets.
Yep, and companies are already using that. And again, our reporting is very flexible, so very many different types. So for example, one of the companies that we work with, so this is a slight digression, but in the same vein of things, they have travel and entertainment that they want to track, travel time, travel, etc. And so if you have custom requirements as well, you can create a form associated with the task so that when that task happens, the form pops up, information is collected, and then that any data that is in that form, you can run reports on. And basically get, with the filters, you can get whatever information you need from there. Go ahead, Sunny. Yeah,
Yes.
but I wanted to thank the audience for all the questions. Please keep them coming. We are happy to answer them and take them on.
Yes. Yes. So other than that, we have a lot more information that is for your agency. We also have support coordination agencies from New Jersey that we service currently. So anything regarding your empty documents, your monitoring tool documents, they can be created. We have different workflows present for that. We also have the scheduler. So for daycare agencies, or you can use the scheduler feature where you can schedule sessions on a monthly basis for a particular employee, and you can assign different clients to the session, mark attendance, and then bill as well based off this session. So a lot of configurability in the system, and we would be more than happy to walk you through a one-on-one demo as well of the FieldWorker system and understand your business better.
Yeah. So we have, and to add on to what Sunny's saying, there is so much functionality in here. One of the key things is that once you have the data, right? So once the data is in the system, we have so many different ways, configurable ways by which you can get the data. We have so much flexibility. We already have so many reports that are already built in, and so much flexibility around the reports that you can build yourself and access from the system. And so you can get the data that you need. Plus, we have the ability to build the workflows so that you can build the steps that you need for your organization that are helpful. Now, on top of that, if you are, let's say, an agency which works under the purview of the state, then we have reports which help you report. So let's say you are a Center for Independent Living, for example, you have annual performance reports. You want to generate, perhaps for private grant givers, you want to generate impact reports. So we have so many reports that are built in which help you summarize this information and make it easy for you to build out these reports that you need. And since we have, a real-time reporting mechanism built in, this is not a time-consuming task, and you can generate these reports yourself. We also give the ability, as Sunny showed, the ability to export the data from our reports into Excel. So once you have it in Excel, you can manipulate it in whichever way you would like, if you would like to do so. There's another question about how do you handle data migration from existing systems? So I'll say a couple of sentences on that, and Sunny, you can add on to that. So we have built a standard file format that you can help that we can import into our system. Very simple CSV file separated format. So any system that you have, legacy system, can export data out and we can import that in. Sunny, do you want to add to that as well?
Yes, yes. So we have, as I mentioned, we do have a generalized file that we've created, a template basically, where you can import your data. But based on your agency, we can also change this template a bit to get the information just like you need onto the system. So if there is any additional information that needs to be saved, which is not a part of our template, we also work with you one-on-one and get that set up on the system. So at the end of the day, our goal at FieldWorker is to make sure that you are receiving everything you need, all the reporting, all the client data, exactly the way you want through the FieldWorker system.
Yeah. Please feel free to continue to ask any questions that you might have. So as you saw, Sunny showed the scheduler for daycare agencies or community care centers. We also have, guardianship agencies who are using our system, where they collect the case notes for their visits and progress notes. At the core of the system is case management, and on top of that, we have many flexible tools that get you the information that you want to capture in the system, and then reporting on that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, Implementation timeline. Um, uh, it's it depends on the number of users you have on your system and the training that they require, as well as to some extent the complexity of data, because it might require a little bit of mapping to make sure that we have it in the format that we need. We but it's not very extensive. We have had very large organizations where Sunny, what would you say, 3 to 4 weeks of lead time to get people in, and as short as 1 week to get people in to our system. So
Yeah, it
very,
actually depends a lot. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it just depends a lot on the number of people or clients and employees that you have on the system. But yeah, typically 3 weeks is the max we've seen for a larger agency to onboard to FieldWorker.
Yeah. The thing what we have found, what people say, and like, and if you watch some of our other webinars which are recorded and on our website, where we have had clients as well, is that we make things very easy, right? So two things happen. One is with our system, with FieldWorker, people have found we've had so just for reference and not to plug too much, but we've had several of our clients do webinar with us, and they are all on our website, and you can watch them. But basically, the benefits they find is that it makes life very easy for their day-to-day operations, caseworkers, because things are automated. Not much has to be thought. Click, click, click. Things are done. Voice to text of case notes. Quickly enter time. Record your progress notes. It's just very simple. So overall, both and from an administration perspective, you can extract the information that you want in real time. You can see what's going on. If you are a service provider, EVV, we have locate features where you can see exactly who has done what where. So you can see all that stuff if you have GPS enabled. If you would like to be GPS enabled, it's an optional thing, but that can be done as well. So it's centralized information, centralized and automated operations, easy workflows. And so what people find is that cost reduction overall, time savings, administrative overhead cost reduction, and significant savings at that. We've had organizations who have saved anywhere from 30 to 50% or even more of their time and cost overhead on this. But basically, that is what we have found with our existing clients as well. Great. Any other questions or anything else? We are coming to 4:45, which was our timeline for the webinar. Sunny, is there anything else you would like to add or show? We've got literally 1 minute to talk, and otherwise, we would like to thank everybody for attending. Oh, so there is another question which says, have you explored using this to manage budgets for clients? So,
So
sorry, Sunny, go ahead.
yes. So to manage budgets, to answer your question, Joshua, we do have our prior authorization. That's how we've managed it, where you can manage not just the budget, but even the units which have been approved for a particular client. So, based off how many units have been approved or prior authorized for your clients, you can get this information in using our prior authorization feature. Once that is completed, and again, we have a template for this as well. Once that is completed, you can actually track the units for every single client, and these units are also handled through the task. So every time, for example, we have the 15 minutes per unit calculation currently on the system. So if there is a 1 hour task added by one of the employees, you will see this information flow across to our system. So if you give 1 second when I do this, you should also be able to see the information right here. So this, I can go to billing prior auth. And if I just refresh the screen, you should see this information come here.
Okay, I see. I
Right
see.
here.
So there's a corollary question which says that this would be more about managing their bank accounts. So I guess the question is, I wonder if you are a guardianship agency. I'm not sure. Are you a guardianship agency where you have fiduciary responsibility over the financial accounts of the individual? Could you please yes and pay? Okay. All right. So no. So the answer is no. We can manage various budgets for the individuals, for the employees, and as well as budgetary allocation for the individual client we are servicing. But we do not connect to the individual's banks or write checks, etc., for those individuals. So we are not doing the fiduciary aspect or the bank account for the individual. We that can be managed. We leave that to be managed externally to our system. So we are more complete end-to-end case management for the people that you are taking care of, but not the fiduciary aspect of this. Hopefully that answers your question. Does that answer your question? Yeah. If there's anything else, we are happy to answer as well. And if I'm going to Our email address are it's very simple. I'll type them into the chat as well. Hang on. So if there are any further questions, you can ask us. So Sunny at fieldworker.ai, Rohit at fieldworker.ai. Please reach out to us. And if there's anything else we can answer right now, we can do so. We are over our time limit by 2 or 3 minutes. So we want to be cognizant of that. And thank you very much.